and therefore you can keep it running. But if you do that, first, what you do is to keep introducing into the university the notion that education is an investment, that you have to pay for it. And when you can, then you get a little help or loans to do that. And when you get loans, then it is again the logic of investment, instead of promoting the notion that education is necessary, is a right, and that we get it not simply to get individually rich, but to contribute to the public good, right? So there is still the issue, though, right, of, well, what happens with well-endowed people, right, that can come here paying pennies. But if Proposition 13 would be repealed, right, would not exist, and there were other measures to tax actually those who are well-endowed in the state, they will be paying education in that way. The way in which the money will come from those sectors is not necessarily by investing individually, privately, for their own education, but actually by contributing to funding the public good in general, right? So you can have your cake and eat it too. Anania.
My personal opinion is that a general strike starting on November 18th is in fact a viable and important route, and one that will continue to make change.
Here's the problem. The political rhetoric isn't matched by political action in Sacramento. So next year, we're reaching a point, it's a dubious distinction for California. The first time in our state's history we're going to spend more money on prisons than higher education. It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable for us to pretend to be a modern society, a modern state, the 8th largest economy in the world, that we all say we want to invest in education, and we're spending more money incarcerating people than educating people. AB 656 is a solution to that. It'll raise $1 billion against one of the most profitable, well-heeled industries, the oil industry, charging them a fee for the privilege of taking our oil. Basically selling them our oil because we're giving it to them for free now. We're going to join every other state in the country that charges a fee. It's 9.9%. It raises $1 billion with a B dollars for higher education. UC system, CSU system, and the community colleges in California. So we think it's part of the solution. It's a real investment. It's real money. Make a difference. Lower class sizes, increase class offerings, increase financial aid, keep fees and tuition affordable. That's the goal.
You mentioned earlier that states like Alaska and Texas, they've been taxing or putting fees on their oil. Why is it that California hasn't done that in the past?
I think the oil companies are just that powerful in California. I really believe because of the contributions, the nature of campaign finance, which really doesn't exist. Because of those forces, it's very difficult to raise any new revenues by taxing oil companies, tobacco, or anybody in Sacramento. So we need help, and that's why I've been on these college campuses. This is my 9th college campus in about 10 days, because we need a grassroots movement led by students that are going to demand that our state invest in higher education. That's what this is about. That's what the bill's about, and that's what this campaign is about. Getting young people excited about the possibilities, one, and two, to demand a change.
Do you feel like it'll be different this time? Do you feel like this time you'll succeed?
If we have 100,000 students supporting the bill, it's real easy to get on board. There's a Facebook site. It's called Fair Share for Fair Tuition. You go there, you sign up as a supporter. We want to get 100,000 people to sign up as supporters, take those names to the governor, and show him that we're serious. And given the state of affairs in California, I think it's something that people are going to be sympathetic to. I really do. Thank you.
One more question,
Yeah.
sorry. There's a lot of criticism about the California state legislature just not being able to get anything done. How would you respond to that?
Well, it's well-founded. I mean, we have been unable to deal with our budget. We've been unable to deal with water issues. We've been unable to deal with most of those issues, and a lot of it has to do with institutional challenges. 2/3 requirement to pass a budget and raise taxes is certainly a problem. Raises the tyranny of the minority. As the powerful group in Sacramento, they're Republicans. That's an issue. Serving only 6 years in the legislature is an issue, but the biggest issue is money. The influence that money has on politics. If the one solution that I would propose is publicly finance of campaigns. That changes everything. And that would really allow us to get more work done. allow us to work in a more bipartisan fashion. We put politics aside and think about what the state of California needs. How do we solve problems? That has been our biggest problem, is our lack of ability to come to a consensus on the big issues.
The importance of students self-educating on these issues is that we are told that the 32% increase is inevitable, and students are so used to being told that we should obey our university. We're paying them this much for our education, so obviously, they're making decisions on behalf of us, but increasingly it's just becoming evident that the university is not making good decisions, and they are not lobbying the state enough, and they are not working hard enough to defend our interests. So that's why it's time for students to step up, because this is really the last straw. And I think that a sign that was seen at the protest on the 24th kind of sums it up. You see me now, you won't see me after 32%. It's the same thing that happened with affirmative action and the end of affirmative action in Prop 209. Once you cut out all of these people affected by the cuts, they won't return to campus, and then you don't have dissent on campus anymore. You don't have people who are fighting for this anymore, because the ones on campus will be the ones who weren't the most severely affected by the cuts, because those people will have left. So I think we're going to see a significant decrease, not necessarily in the application pool, but in the diversity, both of income and of ideas at Cal, if this goes through.